Well, I mean to tell you that clay is hard to dig in. This little tractor just doesn't have quite the gumption. I think I've got it deep enough there to go in with the water and the electrical. Electrical didn't have to be real deep, but the water I wanted a little ways down. So I'm going to hand dig some of this out here real quick, and then dig up against the edge of this well, and then see if I can get that electrical line running there. Okay, so what we got here, this goes to the pressure switch on the tank. And it's got two 110 legs coming in, two 110 legs going back out to the controller, and one ground. You'll see here in a second what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to throw a little disclaimer in here. I am not an electrician, and I'm not suggesting that this is how you should do this. I'm wiring my barn the way I want to wire it, and you should wire it the way you want to wire yours. And if you're not sure, then you should hire somebody to do it. So on this outlet will be used to power that water softener, and I just pull off one of the 110 legs of that 220 circuit. And the circuit breaker over there is it's a double throw, but they're connected together. So the problem that you don't want to have with pulling off a 220 circuit breaker and then pulling off one 110 leg like this, if you don't have a double throw that's connected together, and if it pops for some reason because of this, you do not want your 220 part to be receiving only 110. Yes. So I have been out for a couple weeks now, and like I was told, they told me to turn this well on and run it for 8 hours. So I came out today, got out here about noon, and I've got it running, and it's been running for, about an hour and a half. So I can tell you it still has a pretty good strong smell of sulfur to it, but I'm hoping that that'll go away here pretty soon. So what I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and start trenching the area over here that goes to the trailer. I'm going to come along this edge, and then we're going to come in and connect it right down in here to that little 3/4 patch. So let's get the tractor out and get to work. All right, so that was some tough digging right there. Next, I'm gonna grab that roll of PEX, put a piece of tape on the end of it, and then I'm gonna run it and stub it out right over here. And right there's where the water port is on the trailer. So let's get that thing rolled out here real quick. All right, so that is a muddy mess. It needs to dry up a little bit before I can really make that look halfway decent. So right now, I need to go ahead and trench out a little line here for that wastewater on that water softener. And I'm probably, I don't have any tubing that's got holes in it. I was going to use that for this and just drill holes in it, put some rock in here and some fabric. But I've changed my mind a little bit on when I put the gutters on, how I want it to go out of here. Initially what I was going to do is all of the front side was going to come along this edge and empty out over here. And I have that 3-inch buried along this side, and I put 3-inch across the front because I was just going to drop it down on that end and drop it down here and run it all the way out the back. So instead of coming down here with 2 drop downs and coming across this way across the front and going all the way out the back on that part of it, I'm going to go ahead and run that line that was here all the way down the other side, and I'll just have a drop down here going out to this one. It'll come down here, go along this area, and then connect with that corner one, come down, and I'll just run it out a little ways and let it run off out into that field. It's just not, I don't have enough room here to put this one across the front. The dirt's a real high level, and if I were to dig it down here to make this one work with rock over it, it's going to really have to be deep when it hits that end. And as of right now, I don't really have to bury this very deep and cover it with rock. Plus I won't be driving over it going in and out of the barn. But you can see how the dirt lies on this foundation. The dirt already makes a downward slope down this way. So let's get started on that leach field for that water softener. So I had a lot of questions about this road fabric that I used on my septic system where the leach line was. And everybody was thinking that it was black 6 mil plastic and it was going to hold all the leach water in. So it's not. As you can see here pretty easily, it is a fabric and you can see light through it. So it's just going to keep stuff from trying to grow in there, and it keeps the dirt from settling down in those rocks, so it'll last a while. So we need to line that new trench up with this, throw some rock in there, and then put that saltwater leach line in there. Okay, well that's kind of an ungodly mess right there, but if you've never tried to work with clay before, it does not sit down. I'm gonna have to wait till this dries up. We'll get a few rains to let this stuff kind of settle. After it dries down, then I can really work it like I did that same spot right there going for electricity, because that was just like this. But it just, you can see it takes forever for anything to grow in it. So I think with that being said here, the next part is I'm going to go ahead and shut the water off and go ahead and plumb it into the building. But I am a little concerned that this water still has some smell to it. Oh, not bad. Boy, it is clear and clean for sure. So it doesn't have any smell at all right now. This morning it did, but it's been on for several hours. It's 11 right now. Probably started here at about 8. But so let's get started on the inside.